cultural construction of disease, and that compared to the objective definition of disease, and not forgetting the subjective feeling of what a disease is. And so there is somewhat of a fact-value dichotomy in how disease is portrayed in medicine. There is a fact going on, and that is the disease. That's the scientific point of view. That's the objective point of view. Then there's how the patient feels about it. If they feel it, they may not even feel their pathology. They may be having a routine blood test, and that says, oh, you've got cancer, and you didn't even know, you were fine. And then if it says you have cancer, you react to that. But it doesn't mean that you feel it. You may have a latent benign type of disease or tumor all your life, and nothing happens, but it's still labeled disease. But how does it feel to you? Then there's the cultural construction, and this is more often with, say, with mental illnesses, say with Messiah complex and Jerusalem syndrome, and people who think they're hearing God and they are Jesus. These things, they were happening all the time, thousands of years ago in Jerusalem, and it was considered normal. But now it's more classified as a disease, so it's a cultural definition. And also schizophrenics, or people who, in tribal cultures, Native American Indian, where they had the cactus or the magic mushrooms, that they would hallucinate, and they would maybe channel shamanistic ideas, but we see that now as crazy. We would define that as something unhealthy or not part of good mental health. Hallucinations are not good mental health, but they incorporated mental health problems, so it wasn't a mental health problem. So there is a cultural construction of disease. So I'm not trying to sound like I know how to use pseudoscience. I'm being distracted by the cockatoo. I don't know if you can hear that. There's a lot of cockatoos here. They're very loud. So what was I saying? Science. Yes, science. So I'm not being a postmodern fundamentalist using pseudoscience and saying disease doesn't exist, it's in the mind. No, you will still get symptoms of your disease. You will still feel the cancer. You will still have the problems. You might die from it. You will die from it. That's all part of disease. But it's a construction. Let's not conflate the material of the body, which isn't a construction necessarily by us. It's not a man-made construction. We're born, we've got a body, we didn't make it, we've got it. The material world was here. We've got the elements within us, we didn't make them, they were there. But disease, we classified, we constructed. Okay, let me give you another example. Think about underwear. We get it, it's a bit of material, but we have shaped it, we've cut it out, and we call it underwear. We put it on. We know where it goes. It goes down there, and it has to be in a certain place, and that's underwear. But really, if you just look at it, it's a bit of material. We could put it on our head. We could walk around with underwear on our head. But we've defined that material in a certain way. We've done the same with disease, but we forget that we've done that because it's been a long process over human history. We've made microscopes, we've made needles, we've done blood tests, we've created this whole way of how we define a disease and how we treat a disease, and it's a whole historical makeup. I'm not saying either that it's bad or wrong. I'm being neutral here and just saying it's a construct. And I'm not trying to create a straw man about that and indict that as being somehow wrong or misleading or manipulative even. But we have constructed it. So we really sometimes should pause. There's nothing wrong with just getting our identity back. Creating our own identity. Being free to if you want to define disease a certain way, you can. There really isn't anything stopping you. And If the end goal is to be alive, then you can define that by what the best method is, if that is Western medicine. Maybe for the antinatalist, for example, the end goal. Is it being alive or just not suffering? Well, death will come eventually. If you get a fatal disease, a terminal disease, do you stop it? Or do you not stop it? It's only a disease if the end goal is to live. But we define that as well.